Hi, good morning. You can see we have this Christmas cutie. Now this was sort of a request from a subscriber who'd been making the mini version that I've done, and they said would I be willing to make a larger one, so here we go. Now it is done in chenille yarn. It is lovely and soft. It doesn't have to be done in chenille yarn. You can use a double knit, you can use a chunky, you can use finer. It will just alter the size of your little snowman. Now again, optional yarn, don't forget to change your hook size if you're changing your yarn. The other thing is it is a UK pattern, so if you're not sure what I mean by that, you may need a conversion chart. Most of the conversion charts for crochet are US and UK. That seems to be the biggest difference. I don't know whether there's anything else out there. You can Google it, or it'll be in the back of a crochet book or something like that, but it is an important factor to look into, otherwise your actual finished product will be different. So as I mentioned, chenille yarn, we have some safety eyes. Again, be aware of the recipient of this if it's going to have safety eyes in it. We don't want any choking hazards or anything like that. The only other yarn difference, if I can get my words out, is this. I did do the nose in a double knit because I wanted it a little bit finer and I wanted to be able to sort of stitch it on a little bit easier. So that is why I did that. But otherwise, I'm going to go through all the sort of ingredients, for want of a better word. It's like a recipe, isn't it? All the things that we need for this to make. We're going to go top down, get some crocheting done. Not sure how I'm going to do it, whether some of it's going to be sped up or slowed down because it is a little bit larger than what I normally do. It's hard to tell because I get some people say to me, just say what we're doing and speed it up. I get others saying, oh, I love working along with you. I prefer the working along with you, but I am conscious that some people don't want that. So, but again, you can always fast forward it. It's YouTube, we can do that. But if I do it in real time, it's going to be a slightly longer video than normal. That is all, just pre-warning you on that one. So it's up to you what you do from there. So we're going to go top down and get this cutie made. So here is everything that we need for our snowman, apart from my stuffing, which is over to one side. It take up too much space on here. It is a toy grade stuffing that I use, so again, always be careful on what products you're using. Now, as you can see, we have our little critter here, so I'm going to pop that to one side while we look at what we've got. Now, these are the chenille yarn that I've got, which is so soft. And this is the brand that I am using. It is Flutterby by James Brett, and it says it is a chunky. Although, as much as it being a chunky, I'm using a 4mm crochet hook, which I think is more than adequate. Keeps it nice and tight. You don't want it looking loose. Now, I actually bought this from my friend's shop, So Unique, which I'll pop a link for a shop below because she's got a website as well as the shop. So I'm very lucky to have her there. So it's always handy to pick things up from the shop. So that is what we're going to be using, or you can use similar. And as I mentioned, depending on the yarn, you might vary on the size of your finished project. So this is the nose. This is just like a carroty orange that I picked, and this is just a style craft basic double knit yarn, so any double knit yarn will do for that. Well, we don't need that for some time, so which side shall I put it? Let me put it all the way over there, out of the way. I also have these. Now these are 15mm safety eyes. Now I like a good quality safety eye. Do not buy anything cheap because some of them are just so rubbish. You need a decent click. If it doesn't click and it doesn't hold, don't use it. You do need, sometimes it's a bit trial and error, but these are pretty good. I've got no worries at all with these particular ones. I must find out what the brand is and I'll pop that down on the link as well. So they're the backs for that. So again, we don't need them just yet. I have a little stitch marker, which I thought I'd go Christmassy. It's cute. It's a little cat in a Christmas tree, which if you have a cat, you'll know how that feels. We have a sewing up needle, and we have my scissors, and also I've got pen and paper over to the other side, which I need. So most of these can go to one side out of our way because we don't really need that just yet. As I mentioned, I haven't decided whether I'm doing this as I go. I'm going to film the whole thing and just take it from there. So it could be long. Oh, there's my crochet. But like I say, you can break it down. Beauty of YouTube, you can do it bit by bit, can't you? So we'll put that to one side. That was my choice of colours because it's one I'd got and I thought it was really pretty. But again, any colour you want for the hat and scarf. So that's got its own little basket. In fact, no, I'm going to use this basket, little basket here, for this because I don't want it falling on the floor. In fact, I'm going to put it on the floor and then it's in the basket so it's not going to get dirty. you need to make sure you wash your hands when you're using this. I've just had to wash mine because I've just done a video where I'm opening things that are wrapped in newspaper. So I've had to wipe my hands, only just remembered, because obviously I don't want ink going onto this. So we'll pop that in there. There it's in there. And I'm going to pop it on the floor. There we go. So it should run nicely through now. So let's get going. It is amigurumi style. And it's quite a basic pattern really. And again, it's all in one. The body and the head is all in one, which makes life so much easier. So no sewing up on those parts. So off we go. We have a slip knot. Don't pull it too tight. Again, be careful with this. Is quite a good chenille. Well, I'm just going to pull some off the end just to show you. But look, if you, I mean, with this one, you have to really force it. But there's some cheaper ones out there, and this happens. And then you're either covered in fluff or your work starts coming undone. So be careful when you're buying chenille. Make sure you do buy a reasonable quality one. So onto the hook we go, not too tight as I've just mentioned. So my amigurumi always starts with 2 chain. So here we go, 1 and 2. My next round is 6 double crochets, UK double crochets, and I'm going to do them all into that first chain. The other thing with chenille, you can't always see it, but after a bit you start to feel it, so don't worry too much. I know it seems a bit weird saying that, but here we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, and the hole again, and 6. So we have 6 double crochets there. We're actually starting at the bottom, okay, and we're going to finish at the head, obviously. So we now have 6, not enough, we need 2 in each, and this is where I say you sort of have to feel for your chenille. If you're not sure, you can count from the back. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is actually there. Make sure you pick up also. Can you see there's the 2 sides? I know I'm probably telling some of you that going, oh, I know that, but not everybody does. There's 2 sides. You need to make sure you're picking up both sides. So 2 in each. So 2 double crochets in each one. So that's 2 in our first one, 2 in our second, 2 in number 3, 2 in number 4. I pull a bit more yarn out. 2 in number 4, that was, wasn't it? 2 in number 5, and 2 in number 6. So we now have 12 double crochets. If you need to pull this just to tighten that hole up, just be very careful when you pull it, because again, some can snap very easy and then you'd have to start again, and there's nothing worse. I've been there and I've done that. So we say we got 12 now, still not enough, so now we need 2 in each again to give us 24 stitches. So 2 in each of the 12. So here's our first one. It starts to feel a little bit easier. If you're not used to chenille, it is a little weird. You get into it and it's lovely. So that is 2 in number 2. I don't know if this basket was a good idea, it's pulling a bit. In number 3, 2 in 4, in number 5, so it's 2 in each one, so even though I just say one number. Number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, almost there, number 10, number 11, and our last one, number 12. Okay, so now we should have 24 stitches. So it's 24 stitches round, still not enough, because as we can see, you know, he's got sort of a wider bottom than the other things I usually make, so we have some extra increasing to do, but there is only one more row of increasing, and it's one that I quite often do. We're going to do 2 in one, 1 in the next, 2 in one, 1 in the next, all the way round. So it's 12 sets, so it's combination, and we will do it 12 times, giving us 36 stitches. Okay, up to you if you pop a stitch marker in here. I'm just going to count 1 to 12 for each combination. So here we go. For combination number 1, we have a 2, we have a 1. Yeah, that's combination 1. Number 2, combination 2, we have a 2, and we have a 1. Combination 3, we have a 2, and we have a 1. Combination 4, we have a 2, and we have a 1. Combination 5, a 2, and a 1. Combination 6, oh, a little knot, but I'm going to carry on. If I was making this for someone, I would actually start again, but just for the process of this video, I'm not going to. So I've lost count. Was that 6? We'll go for 7 anyway. We'll count, check them out in a minute. Combination 7, it's not actually that bad. Combination 8, combination 9, and 10. 11, 12, so last combo, and there we go. So you can see it curls a little bit. Don't worry about that, it will straighten out as we go. So you should have 36 stitches. As you can see, it's not so easy to count the chenille. Maybe a stitch marker would have been a good idea, but I'm just going to trust that I have 36 at the moment. So I am going to grab the stitch marker next, because we're going to have some just plain rounds, and this is where some of you basically, you can fast forward me or you can stay with me if you want to, but I'm actually going to do 10 rounds of 1 double crochet in each one, which is quite a lot. This is why I need to decide at this point, which I'll decide after I've done the video, whether I cut it. I don't know whether I can actually do that, cut it, speed that bit up, and then come back to where we get to the end. But basically we need 10 double crochet rounds. Stitch marker in place, round 1, here we go. I have my pen and paper next to me as well, because I will lose count otherwise. I always have a little notebook normally. I mean, the paper, I've ripped the pattern out of my notebook because I need to write the pattern up in case anybody would like to purchase it. But I do have a notebook whenever I'm designing something or creating something. I have a little notebook and pen to write everything down. Not that I can read it sometimes after I've done it, which I do try and be neat, but my writings is shocking and I have a tendency to doodle as well. So we're still on round 1. We're only halfway around on round 1. Remember, we've got 36 stitches for each round. It's not actually that much bigger than when I do a chocolate orange cover. It just feels it, I think, with it being the chenille, and that it comes out a little bit bigger. I can see the stitch marker. So I'll make sure I mark that down. 2 more maybe. 1 more. And I'm going to mark that down as my first round. So that's 1 out of the 10. So I'm going to again pull a bit more yarn out, and off we go for round number 2. Now it feels weird for me also because I'm using a number 4 crochet hook, 4mm crochet hook, which is a large size for me to use nowadays. I generally avoid, I don't know whether any of you have this problem, I avoid chunky yarns usually, although this chenille's so soft it's not really a problem, because I can end up getting shoulder ache or elbow ache for some bizarre reason. It's because it's more effort, you know, when you're using the hook and using a bigger hook. I think it's harder, personally, than using a smaller hook. But of course, each person likes their own hooks. Make sure I didn't lose that stitch then. Off we go. So it does feel a little bit weird, but I've enjoyed doing it. I really have enjoyed making it. The only thing is I might end up having to make a few extras. My son saw it and then he's going, I mean, this is a grown-up son, this is. Oh, I'll have one of those. And I'm like, no, you won't. But then obviously I've got 2 grandchildren. There's my daughter. And then there's the partners. And they all like a little something. So I don't know. I don't know if I can make that many. I need some more white chenille if I'm going to be doing that as well. So I need to pop to my friend's shop. That's number 2. And round number 3. I say it's curving nicely. Remember though, this is the outer, so ultimately it needs to curve that way. I know my early crochet when I was doing amigurumi, because there's not a huge difference either side, I was doing it inside out. It looked okay. It's fine. I was also only picking up the front piece of the stitch, so I had a ridged pattern. Oh, I made all sorts of mistakes, but that's part of it. And when you're learning to crochet, I know a lot of people go, oh, you know, it's like wizardry, or, oh, I don't know how you do that. And then obviously people who are into crochet going, yeah, that's easy enough. It does get easier. It does get easier. So if you want to crochet, do it. Expect to go wrong. Expect to throw things in the bin. Because even now, I will throw things in the bin if they've gone wrong, or if it's some yarns just really won't unpick. And so I just get angry with it then. But sometimes it's just quicker to start again than sitting there, especially if it's a small piece, undoing everything. Nearly at that tree again. The little tree shows up nicely actually on here. It's a proper snowy yarn. I do love it. I just think there's a bit of a knack to using chenille. Well, that is round 3. Is that all we're on? Oh, we got a way to go. But can you see we have a shape? We have the bottom of our snow critter. In this style pattern, if you wanted to, could make all sorts of things. I mean, you could do a penguin in this shape, just a bird, little owls, all sorts of things. I know my first one sort of referred to as like a little nugget, and this is a big nugget because it's just the shape with it all in being all in one. I'm trying to make sure with the camera I'm keeping sort of about there. I know, I think I mentioned before, I never thought about it. It's my fault. But obviously if somebody puts subtitles on, they can't actually see what my hands are doing. Oh, the pussycat's here. I'm not letting her in though, because when I crochet, I don't let her in. She's not on her own. My husband's downstairs because he's not at work till tonight. So she can go down and meow at him. But it's just weird because she won't bother me if my craft room door's open. Second I shut it, boom, she's there. It's like as if to say, well, how dare you shut that door on me. So when we get back to this stitch marker this time, I am going to move the stitch marker up a little bit, because you do need to do that with amigurumi. As you're going round and round, it is a spiral technique and it can make a difference to your positioning. So one more, mark it off and move it up. Now the thing is, I'm doing all this talking, so if I do it in real time it's fine. If I have to speed it up, I will be not talking and I'll put a little bit of music over it. Oh, I don't know, perhaps I should do 2 options. People who want to listen to me talk rubbish and people who don't want to listen to me. I have no idea. You can, like I say, just fast forward it yourself if you don't want to. So we're on round number 5, which makes us about halfway. We will then be starting to decrease. So actually we're doing pretty well. We're on what, 16 minutes, but I would reckon what, a good 4 or 5 of those with me talking. So I don't actually think this is going to take a huge amount more than maybe one of my chocolate oranges. Some of those have more details on them. I do need to get my Christmas one done for that as well. Again, I had considered the chenille, maybe make a snowman like I'm doing with this for a chocolate orange. But not everybody uses chenille. I think that is why I stick to the basic double knit yarn, to be honest, most of the time. I mean, this wouldn't matter if you used a double knit yarn, but if I did this as a pattern for a chocolate orange, for example, and then somebody used a double knit yarn instead, it wouldn't fit. It's simple as that. So maybe it's not a good idea. It would look cute, but maybe not a good idea. But yeah, I do have a couple of ideas for my chocolate oranges for Christmas, which I need to get out, because we're countdown now, aren't we, really? Almost at the beginning again. mark it down. We are now 100% halfway there. It looks like, I mean, this ball, I didn't say what it was, did I? Did it say what it's about? It's a 100-gram ball. You should easily get 2 snowmen this size out of it. I hope. I'm going to get to end and run out of yarn now, aren't I? After saying that, but no, I'm pretty sure you would. Because I said this 10 or the widest point is then going to get smaller. And obviously your hat and your scarf are something different altogether. Oh, got a little bit of fluff. That is one thing though, I actually noticed, you know, while working on this, you do get some sort of debris of the fluff, only tiny bits. But I think perhaps, you know, say if you're asthmatic or you maybe have breathing problems, well, whether it'd be worth wearing a mask, to be honest. Because I did notice I felt like I was breathing some of it in, but I mean, thankfully, sort of, I'm okay in that department. I'm moving again, aren't I? Let's keep up to that top bit. It's because I have to lean forward when I'm doing it on camera, and I usually have my crochet quite close to my body, so it's natural to sort of try and pull it back all the time. All right, this is round 6. There we go, mark it down. Over halfway now, so we can properly see we've got the shape becoming. So round number 7. At least when it pulls through your fingers, it's ever so soft as well. That's another thing that is nice about chenille. Some yarns, I mean, I love using a wool, sort of good quality wool, sock wool or something like that, but it can sometimes be a bit rough on your fingers, whereas this is really soft. I mentioned going fast forwarded to the next bit if you don't want to watch me do the 10, but also don't forget, if you are a beginner, you can slow it down as well. The only problem with the slowing down, the action is nice and slow, but so is my voice, so you may want to just dub my voice and put some music on or something like that while I do it. Right, round number 7. When you get to 7, it always feels like you're so much, well, you are so much nearer it, but it feels like the next bit then is quite fast, because we only have 3 more rounds to go, don't we? So, number 8. It's a funny little noise, you won't be able to hear it, but I can hear it as the yarn is being picked up by the hook. So I think that's about halfway around. You can usually tell because the stitch marker starts sort of touching the table and things like that. I know I'm halfway because you can hear the stitch marker. That's around 8, almost done. Back to our little pussycat Christmas tree. in an ideal world, you should really move your stitch marker up now. I'm just going to sort of wing this little bit because we've only got 2 more rounds to do. So I don't want to sort of always take up time and moving stitch markers. But we've got some nice little shape there now, haven't we? So round number 9. Number 9. That's good. And then we will be doing decreasing from then onwards to give him a little bit of shape towards the neck, and then a little bit more increasing when we get to the head. Not as much as this, because obviously the head is smaller than the body. So I can tell I'm working with a thicker yarn. My shoulders are burning a little bit. I don't know why it does it. I mean, I know perhaps it's more effort because it's thicker and the hook is bigger, but and I use a chunkier yarn for scarves and that, but I still prefer the finer stuff. Perhaps I need to build the muscles up in my shoulder for the thick stuff. I mean, all crocheters who work with chunky, really strong shoulders. Almost there for number 9. I'm not going to write number 9 down because obviously I know we've only got 1 more round to go. So off we go with our final round for this part. Now, if you want to make a taller snowman, you just add in some extra rounds here. So, or you could make a shorter snowman, but you'd have to watch for the head proportion. Otherwise, I think it might look a little bit strange. But snowmen come in all sorts of shapes. All sorts of types. We can have snow animals, different snow people, snow buildings, snow all sorts. So you can play about with the combination of that. Just thought of something while I was making this. I don't know whether I've done a video on it. Years ago, I took a tea light. I know probably you've seen things similar on the internet. And I made like a melted snowman. So it was a cover over the tea light. Might be worth having a look, see if I did make it. I sort of lose track sometimes and I have to go back and actually look what I've done. And we are at our number 10. So I'm just going to pop it down a second, just so it's like that, because for those guys who have gone further ahead, they might want to sort of see, oh, now we're doing something different. So you've got your shape here, which is coming on really nicely. So now we need to start decreasing. Now our first decrease, it's only really 4 decreases. You don't want to make it too quick unless you want a really sort of like chunky little snowman. But we're going to do 7 double crochets, move it up there, 7 double crochets, just 1 in each of the 7, and then we will do 2 stitches together, which I'll show you when we get there if you're not 100% sure. Now, because of the number we have here, we have the 36, it should make it 4 times to decrease. Are we ready? My maths are right, that is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now my next ones are going to be 2 together, so I go in the one, I pull it through, but I don't finish the stitch. I go in the second one, pull it through. We have 3 on the hook, we're going to pull it through all 3. That is my first decrease. So that's number 1. We're going to do 7 double crochets again. So we have 1, yarn's pulling a bit, 2, 3, that's better, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We are now going to do 2 together. So in, pull it through. We don't finish the stitch. We go in the next one, we pull it through. We pull it through all 3. So that's our second decrease. 7 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 2 together, 7 double crochets, 3, 4, 5, ignore that stitch marker, 6, because as I say I should have moved it up so my positioning is not quite right, but I'm counting, and that is counting is more important, and then 2 together. So we've decreased by 4 stitches. We can take that out in fact now. So now we have 32 stitches. We're going to decrease again by another 4 stitches, but this time it's 6 double crochets, 2 together, times 4. So are we ready? This is the first one. So we do 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 2 together. So that's our first one. So we're going to do 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 2 together, which is our second decrease. So 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 2 together, which is our third decrease. So we're going to do 6 double crochets and 1 more decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 2 together. So we now, see, it's slowly coming in. You can see it's standing quite well. We now should have 28 stitches. I'm going to grab my stitch marker again, because when I'm talking, I sometimes do lose count, don't I? Because we're going to do 1 double crochet round. So as I mentioned, we should have 28 stitches. I'd recommend you count your 28 stitches. I'm going to trust my stitch marker and push that in there out of the way as well, because as I'm talking, I know I'm going to lose count. So 28 stitches you should have, or don't over panic if you're 1 more or 1 less. If you're much more than that, yes, something's gone a little bit wrong. But amigurumi is one of those that you could get away occasionally with the odd stitch. Not consistently so, but if it's just the odd one. So I did a double crochet around here because after doing a little bit of decreasing, I think it's nice just to smooth the edges off before we keep decreasing, because there is more decreasing to do yet. You know, I'm actually wondering, should I do this in 2 parts? Do his hat and scarf separate? Because the hat and scarf could go on other sort of objects. So maybe. Anyway, stop thinking about other things and get on with what I'm doing. Right, we need another decrease, another 4 decrease again. But this time, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 2 together. And again, 4 times, because this is how the combination's working quite nicely. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 together. That's our first one. So 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 together. That's our second one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 2 together. And check where I'm going, because sometimes it's hard to see where the stitch is. 5 anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And again, don't worry about that stitch marker, because we've decreased. Obviously the stitch marker position has changed. Even just on that round, so 2 together. So I'm going to get rid of that, I think. Right, we need another decrease. It gets there. Can you see? We're going to need that stuffing soon for his little body. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 together, and you guessed it, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, 4. I nearly went for 5 then. Take that one out. It's only 4 and then 2 together. So that was my 5. Then 2 together. Then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 together. That's our second one. And again. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 together, our third one. One more set for this round. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 2 together. 1 and 2. So you can see we've got quite a small hole now. I've written here PTO, please turn over, and it also says I have, let me read it again, I have 20 stitches at the moment, and I've also put to do a double crochet round, so we'll count this time because 20 is not so bad to count, is it? So there we go. 1, 2, 3. I just check that's still in the basket. Yes, it is. I don't want it getting dirty. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, halfway, 11, 12, 13, 14, oh, nearly dropped it, that was 14, 14, 14, then that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So here we go. I think we need the stuffing now because the smaller that hole gets, I know we're going to be coming back again for the head, the smaller it gets, the harder it is going to be to stuff, because we are going to be starting the head shape next. So I'm going to pull some of this stuffing out. Here we go. I'll probably need a bit more than that. It's surprising how much stuffing you need in these. So I'm just going to pull my hook like that so I don't lose it. And let's get some stuffing in here. Does come down to how firm you want it. Again, everybody's different. Some want it sort of really firm, some want it really squishy, but I think you need it relatively firm. And I found with the chenille I was better off, rather than just pushing it in, but pushing it in around the edges. So you're pushing it in so it sort of sits around here, because otherwise I didn't find it went in very well. That might be just me not being used to chenille. So it does need more, but that's a start, so you can see where we're coming, because now, as I say, we're going to be shaping the head, so we need to increase a little bit. It's not massive, but obviously he needs a shape to his head. We can't keep going like it is. We're going to do 2 in the next one, 1 in the next one, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around 10 times, because we've got 20 stitches, haven't we? So our first stitch, 2 and a 1. So that's our first set. 2 and a 1. Second set. A 2 and a 1 for set number 3. 2 and 1 for number 4. Nearly lost the stitch there. Get back in there. We need a 2 and a 1 for number 5, so we're halfway there. 2 and 1 for number 6. 2 and 1 for number 7. 2 and 1 for number 8. 2 and 1 for number 9, 2, and 1 for number 10. So you can see how it's splaying out. Can you see we've got this sort of lip on it now? So this is where the head is going to come around. So this is his little neck. So we now do have 5 1 double crochet in each one, and then we will be fitting the eyes in after that. So if you're going ahead of me, you will need to pause at that point. So stitch marker in, we only have 20, we have 30 stitches. What am I on about? We got 30 stitches, so it's not as much as it was before, is it? And it's only 5 rounds that we need. So this is round 1. It is catching a little bit in this basket. It's not too bad, but I'll say at least it stops it touching the floor. So I'm not going to count because I'm going to rely on stitch marker again. Stitch markers are great things to use in certain points. It is harder to hold at this point, you may be noticing. It is sort of a bit clumsy because you've got this bit all stuffed here, and then you're trying to crochet on a bit that's not stuffed, and it does make it a little bit awkward to hold. But it does. We haven't got that many rounds to go, so I'm sure we can manage. And it's well worth it because you don't have to join the head to the body. Make sure you are getting every stitch, because when you've increased on that previous round, should I say, not row, you sometimes can't see the stitch. You know, when you've done the 2 in 1, it's very easy to miss the stitch because sometimes one's a little bit tighter than the other. So perhaps you should count for maybe for this first round. Just see how you go with it. If you think the head's coming out too small, there's a vague chance that you have actually, oh no, glasses are dropping down my nose, dropped a stitch somewhere or missed a stitch when you've gone round on this round. Right, I will mark that down on my piece of paper. So round number 2. Number 2 should be easier because it's already gone past that increase round. I mean, it looks a bit like a balloon, doesn't it? Yeah, it's easier to get around on this round. So this is round 2. And so we've got 5, and then we'll discuss these actual safety eyes. Now, as I mentioned, you do need to be careful depending on who the recipient of the item is going to be. I'll have a proper look at it when we get to that bit, because we're only on round 2 at the minute, and we've got 5 to do first. Almost at that stitch marker. It is absolutely chucking it with rain outside at the minute. The light is, oh, I can tell it's the winter light coming because it does make it difficult. I've got lights on all over the place in here. Right, that's round 2. Oh, we've got a little head coming. Round 3. Twisted a little bit, the yarn. It does have a tendency to twist as well, Chanel. You've got to be careful with that. That's why I'm running it from the basket, because it makes it a little bit smoother. Almost round for number 3, and then we've got 2 more. Well, we have to shape the top of the head, of course. We're not going to leave his head open like this, but it gives us the base of the head if I just doing these 5. And that is our round number 3. Mark it down. So again, we've got proper shape coming now. So round number 4. So we've got 2 more rounds. Shouldn't go too fast, and that's when it sort of slips off the hook then. Double check I'm in place. I think I am, yes. Nearly there. And then there's 1 more to go. You know, every time I say something like 1 more to go or nearly there, I guarantee I'll drop the stitch. Don't know why, but it always works like that. When I said 1 more, I meant 1 more round, not. I swear it's the word 1 more. What am I doing? Right, now I'm back to Christmas tree. Dare I say it? 1 more round. Say it before I start actually crocheting. So remember, there's 30 stitches in each round. So if you're counting, you should be counting your 30 stitches. Or as I say, you can use your stitch marker, but I would recommend moving up maybe every 3 rounds, unless you're comfortable with where you are. Sometimes you don't need to do it. But you just need to be aware that you're not losing any stitches, because it can alter the shape of your amigurumi. When we get there, we will take the stitch marker out because it's not really got any use at the moment. And that is our 5th round. I'm just going to pull that long so we don't lose it, and just take the stitch marker out. Right, it now comes down to the eyes. Now you need to decide how you want to position your eyes. They can be different, they can be wider, they can be narrower, they can be higher, they can be lower. But remember, you've got your hat is going to be coming about this point. The hat is done separate. We're not going to change colour. Let me grab these eyes. The main thing to do is decide where the front, usually I say where I've just finished is the back. So that means this is the front of my little snowman. So I'm going to just say it's approximately the 3rd one up. 1, 2, 3-ish. Because remember, that was a DC round 1, 2, yeah, about there. But again, you can do this wherever you want. But the best thing to do is just position it first and imagine where it's going to go. So we have a nose in the middle, remember, and also when you put your stuffing in, it stretches it, remember, there's all those things. So I've got the backs of these now. I'm happy with that. Now for these particular ones I've got, it's dome upwards. I'm going to push it on, and the first one isn't really a click, it just holds it into place. Now for me, for this particular brand, it's 1, 2 clicks, and that is pretty sound. It's not going anywhere. I know when I've had to take one apart before now, I've ended up binning it because you cannot get these eyes out. Just on to hold it, then 1, 2, because you don't want it too tight because it'll pull and damage the yarn, but you don't want it too loose that it's going to come out. So I'm quite happy with that. It looks a little bit strange at the moment, so we'll move the other one back out of the way, because we now need to decrease to create the top of his head. Don't decrease too far before we stuff though, of course. Again, it might sound silly, but I've done that. I've completely sealed something in and then I went, I didn't stuff that bit. It happens, believe you me. Right, so back on the hook. We have our 30 stitches. We're now going to do 1, 2, 3, 2 together. And we're going to do that 6 times. I'm just checking my numbers there. Yep. So are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 2 together. That's our first one. We got this 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 2 together. That's number 2. 1, 2, and 3, 2 together. That's our third one. 1, 2, 3, 2 together. Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 2 together. And my last 1, 2, 3. I'm a little worried I've actually done an extra one there, but we'll get away with it. When the written pattern, I'll make sure it's written out properly too. 3. And yes, I did. Though there was actually 6 there, so I'm not going to decrease again. So you can see again, we're curving in. So that should have been 6 times, 3DC, 2 together. Okay. The next one's 2 together, 2 DCs, 2 together. Yes, that makes sense. I'll say that again. 1, 2, 2 together. Yep. I'm actually going to put my stitch marker in so I can actually pay attention to what I'm doing whilst I am talking. It will give an approximate idea that I'm in the right place, that's all. So 2 DCs, 1, 2, 2 together. That's our first one. 1, 2, 2 together. I'm just going to go around to the stitch marker. So we've got 1, 2, 2 together. It should be 6 times this. 1, 2, 2 together. 1, 2, and 2 together. Right, so we have now a smaller hole again, so I think we need to think about stuffing, because otherwise it's going to get very difficult, and I still need a little bit more, I think, in that body, because the actual decreasing from now on is going to be sort of a fast decrease, so it's going to really pull in. So I'm going to try and push some more down into his body, because I think he needs a little bit more in there. Also round the neck area, always make sure there's plenty around the neck, because as much as it goes in, you don't want to expand it, but you need to make sure it's solid, because otherwise your necks can go a little bit soggy and you don't want that. I'm just comparing him. Can you see roughly its sizes? So I'm sort of happy with that. We need more stuffing for his head. So much stuffing. I think that's probably why I don't make lots of large things, because they take so much stuffing. All right, now where the eyes are, sometimes, oh, nearly lost my hook. Sometimes you need to sort of just wiggle the eyes so that the stuffing doesn't push them funny. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to still decrease a little bit, and then if I can squeeze any more in, I will do. So my next decrease is literally 1 DC, 2 together, 1 DC, 2 together, all the way around till we get back to this marker approximately. If you want the actual numbers, it's 6 times. So we have 1, 2 together. We have a second one, 2 together. We have a third one. Don't get the stuff in. I only got the stuff in then. 2 together. I'm pulling it towards me, aren't I? Move over there. 1 and then 2 together. 1 and 2 together. You see how tight it's getting now. 1 more and 2 together. Right, this is really your last chance to get any stuffing in, because you can see how small that hole is now. So decide if you want a bit more. I want a bit more. I want his head to be a little bit firmer. So sort of just pushing it down the sides rather than the middle. I found it a little bit easier with the chenille. Right. I'm happy with that. You can see the shape coming, but now we need to close this up. So I'm going to take the stitch marker out, because all we're going to do is two together, two together, two together, two together until it's almost closed. You can stitch the very last bit if you're a little bit worried you can't get it too close. So it's harder to hold again because of all our stuff in, but you need to keep this tight because otherwise you'll end up with holes. So it's two together, pull it tight. Two together, and I always just like pull it a little bit there. Two together, two together, two together. Can we get one more in possibly? Oh, so this is the tricky one. When it gets that close, it's hard to get hold of the stitches. And two together, and I'm leaving it at that. Now with this one, if you're left on I just dropped my crochet hook. I'm gonna have to get it now. If you are left with the tiniest of holes, it's not the end of the world because you're putting a hat on it, but it is best to stitch it up if you can, and do that, don't tangle. So by stitching it up, basically I'm just going backwards and forwards over that little hole with the needle, and then in fact we might as well do it now, I suppose. Tell you what I could do with is a plastic needle. I've noticed people are using plastic needles for the chenille because I don't think it pulls as much on the pile, so I think the plastic one does work better. So basically what I mean is it's like darning. So you go across, it didn't really need much, this one, and then you'd go across, if I can get the right bit, where's it going, across again, and it just sort of fills that hole in. As far as these ends are concerned, like with all crochet, amigurumi, make sure it pulls through, I just go through a few times to make sure it's not going anywhere. And with chenille I usually do it a little bit more than I would normally as well. So we can put that extra spare bit to one side. Where's my magnet? So he looks very strange at the moment, but that is the shape of our little critter. We don't really need any of this anymore. I did use a tiny bit of stuffing in there, so if you do want to, just keep a little bit to one side, otherwise we don't need it. And we're going to move on to the hat. Now you would think the hat is the same measurements as the head. It sort of is, but remember we then put stuffing in it. I need, good idea if I got my crochet hook, wasn't it? I know it's down there somewhere. I'm going to have to pause to find it. I dropped it on the floor and I don't know where it is. Bear with me. Found it. I've also popped the ball of this into that basket that I had the white in. I've got all that left over in the white. I actually think you'd get three this size out of one ball, which is pretty good. Right, here we go. Slip knot time. This colour is so pretty. I thought I'd go for like a Christmassy colour, and then when I realised I got this one, no, we're gonna go pretty. Really pretty. Right, we're going to do exactly the same as before. We're going to do 2 chain. We're going to do 6 double crochets into that first one. So we have 1 or not and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6. Well, like with his head, obviously that's not enough, so now we're going to do 2 in each again. Finding the first one can be difficult, but it is there. So we have 1, 2 in that one, 2 in the second one, 2 in number 3, 2 in number 4, 2 in number 5, and again 2 in number 6. So we now have our 12 stitches. Obviously it's still not enough, that's not going to fit on its head, so we need 2 again in each one to give us our 24, like we did when we started the bottom, really. So that's 1, 2 in 2, 2 in 3, 2 in 4, in number 5, in number 6, in number 7. Let me check where that hole was. It was there. Number 8, number 9. There's 2 in each, remember. Number 10, number 11, and our last one, number 12, gives us 24 stitches. So yeah, so we have our 24. Still not big enough, but we only have one more increase, and basically it's going to be, let me get this the right way around, 1 in the next 2. I've read that wrong. What have I done then? Yeah, 1 in 2. I don't know why I've written 1 in 2 and not 2 in 1. 2 in 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around. 12 times gives us 36 stitches. So here we go. I don't even know why I questioned that, because that's what I'd normally do anyway. So it's 2 in that first one, then a 1. That is counted as our first set of the 12. So this is our second set. Our third set, so it's a 2 and a 1. Fourth set, a 2 and a 1. Fifth set, a 2 and a 1. Set number 6, a 2 and a 1. Number 7, a 2 and a 1. Number 8, a 2 and a 1. Number 9, a 2 and a 1. Number 10, a 2 and a 1. And I can't remember whether I just said 10 or 11. I got distracted. Oh, I'm so easily distracted. It is terrible. I'm gonna go with another 1, 2 and a 1. You need 12 sets, okay? So you would have a 2 and a 1 times 12. We do need the stitch marker in now, because like with the body and like with the midsection of the head, we have just some double crochet rounds. So in we go. Now if you look, that's roughly at the moment where it's sitting on his head. So it should work out. As you start to do double crochet rounds, it spreads out a little bit, okay? So let me just check. We have 7 rounds. That's not so bad, is it? We've only got 36 stitches. So round number 1. You know, we're not doing too bad for time. I think we have it hit over the hour, because I stopped and started. My clock doesn't tell me, so I don't think that's too bad. And so just take your time though, it's not a race. If I'm going too fast, slow me down. If I'm not going fast enough, speed me up. But don't drop stitches like me. So round number 1 we're still on, and I am using my stitch marker as my goal. I just love how these colours come out with this particular one. I don't know, I bought it and I'm not sure what I'll use it for, but I'm so glad I did get it now, because I think it looks lovely the way it's coming out. So that is one of our 7. You will start to see it curling round after a little bit, and then you'll see why it's got to be the 7. So this is number 2. You could do it longer and do it as a turn up if you wanted. You don't have to do it quite like I've done. You can do all sorts of shape hats to fit it. So round number 2. halfway around. It's already starting to curl actually, which is good. That's what I want it to do. I'll try it on the head when we've done 3 to show you the positioning and how it would work. Oh, don't drop it. Yeah, this one's jumping out of the basket. I can hear the basket moving every time I pull the yarn. It's still in it, but it is jumping a little bit. I think it's because they're slightly tighter ball. The other one's all starting to come undone. It's the only thing you get towards the end and you really need to wind it into a ball, because it is going to start just collapsing, and then that starts getting knots and it starts to get twists and things like that. Right, where's that pen? We are round 2. Can you see how it's curling? But remember, that is the outer side, so you need to push it this way. Okay. Well, it's wherever that little tail there is the inside. So round number 3. When we've done 3, as I say, we will try it on him, because you may want to alter the size of the hat, and it'll just give you an idea that it's going to fit at this point, so you can make it longer, shorter, however you want. And that is our round number 3. So let's have a look how it's going to sit on the head. Now, can you see that is sitting quite comfortably now, but I did want it to come down longer. That is why I've done the 7. You could do it on a jaunty angle and leave it like that if you wanted to, or you could sort of take it a lot longer and even turn it up. So we will carry on with the 7, but again, that point is optional to you if you wanted to carry on. So did I mark off the 3? I didn't. Let's get going. So this is our number 4, which brings it a little bit lower onto the brow. And obviously the pom-pom I did is optional. Now, I should have known it wasn't going to work, but I did try a pom-pom with chenille. I personally cannot get a pom-pom to work properly with chenille, as in a, you know, with a pom-pom maker, for example, because of the shedding and because sort of it does pull a little bit. And it's also, if you sort of pull this tight, it can break quite easily, so you'd have to use a different yarn to hold it together, the pom-pom. But so I decided not to. So mine, the pom-pom on this is like just a little amigurumi blob, for want of a better word, and again, that is completely optional. I will show it you, but you may want to just buy a pre-made pom-pom. That would work just as well, but I wanted to give you the crochet option as well. Right, so that is our number 4. We've only got 3 more to go, and as I say, we should have 36 stitches, because if you've got anything less, it's not going to fit on its head, or if you've got a lot too many, it's going to be a floppy hat, which then makes it hard for you to actually sew it on. We're twisting a little bit. I think it's just because of the way it's coming out of this basket. Where are you going? I can't find your little stitch. Pull it out a little bit further than you can see this one is shedding a tiny little bit when you do pull at it, so the less movement in some respects the better. So let's say undoing is not ideal because it can catch and shed, and that's why, like I say, sometimes I've just restarted it. It's a bit of a waste of wool, I know, but sometimes you just don't have an option. I haven't had to undo this, so I'm not too sure what it would be like. I suspect it is going to shed, and then when you reuse it, it's going to be slightly thinner than it would be before, which is not a good thing. Right, what round are we on? We're on number, did I say number 4? We're on number 4, we're on number 5. I can't even read my handwriting. I think we're on number 5. Again, it really doesn't matter. Shall we have a look how it's fitting? On the pattern, I will write there are 7 rounds, okay? So if you buy the pattern from our website, it is 7 rounds. Right, so shall we have a little look? Ta-da! You can see it's starting to work. So we're getting a little hat growing there. So that was 5, wasn't it? I think I'm going to leave it there for now. Now, I would want more, and I am going to do more, but for the benefit of the video, I'm going to say that's 5. You could do a couple more, brings it down to about here. But you could do it longer and give him a turn back. You could alter the hat, so we have a different style hat altogether. So you can really play about with the fact of that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull off enough yarn so as I can actually finish that afterwards. That should be about enough. It actually runs really well, this, so I'm going to turn it into a little ball so as I don't mess it up. We're going to do the pom-pom and we're going to do the scarf, and obviously we need to do, I was going to say beak then, it does look a bit like a beak, doesn't it? So I'm going to pop that to one side and I will finish that for myself later. And let's have a look at this pom-pom, or bobble as I have called it on the pattern. Now this could not be any easier. Let's move him out there. So again, amigurumi. So what do? 2 chain. What do we do next? We do 6 in 1. I mean, there are variations to that, but that's pretty basic. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 2 in each time to give us 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we now have 12 stitches. You can see that's roughly the size that I'm needing, and then we're going to do 1 double crochet round. So we've got 12 stitches. Okay, so just 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So remember, we need to push it out because this is the outer side. Now we're just going to do 2 together, basically all the way around, but we would actually end up with 12 stitches, so we do it 12 times because we've got 24 at the moment. So oh, nearly didn't do a 2 together. So 2 together, 1, 2 together, 2, 2 together, oh, doesn't want to go through, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see how tiny it's getting now. 11, just 1 more, and 12. It's just got itself smaller and smaller, basically like we did the top of the head. So we end up just with a little hole. Now I usually stuff that end in. It quite often is enough stuffing, but if you want a little bit more stuffing, you can add it. You would then fasten off like you would fasten off any of your crochet. So let's move that a little bit. We're not going to fasten it off because we needed to ultimately, when we fastened it off, we're going to be stitching it on top of there. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I can leave you to that little bit for stitching on. I would stitch this on before you stitch the hat onto his head, because it's easier because you can fasten off on the inside. So we'll put that to one side. The only real things he needs now is a little scarf and a little nose. So we'll do the scarf because it's the easiest piece of the whole thing, I think. Chain again. That's all we're going to be doing, chain, and we're going to be doing 40. And that's probably all I'm going to show you. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 12, nearly. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, keep going, 21, 22, 23, keep that chain even as well, 24, 25, 26, keep moving the finger up, 27, 28, 29, 30, we've just got 10 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so we need to check it's gonna go round. What I like it to do is go round and cross over. So I know that is the length I want. If you want in a bigger scarf, a longer scarf, just more stitches. If you want a little short scarf, less stitches. And then here all we're going to do is 1 double crochet. I'm only going to do a couple of stitches here because the chain is sometimes hard to find. So we're going to just do 1 double crochet in every single chain all the way to the end. And when we get to the end, I know I'm not at the end, but I'm going to show you what I do at the end. When we say that's the end, pretend you're at the end there, you're going to do 1 chain, you're going to turn, and you're going to do another double crochet. So it's double crochet all the way along, 1 turn, double crochet all the way back. And that is all that one is 2 rows of double crochet. Leave your ends nice and long from here and here because it helps you stitch your scarf into place. Because I have stitched it here, I've stitched it here, and here, and to make that little bit, as you can see, is loose there, but I have made sure it's nice and secure in the other places. So I'm gonna leave that one to one side because I think really it's the nose that is now the most important thing. We're now moving on to our double knit yarn. If I can find the end, we'll leave it on the table for this one. Again, super quick, but it's finer. So if you're not used to finer yarn, it feels really I know it's double knit, but it feels really thin after I've been doing it on that one. So we're going to start the same, 2 chain. We're going to do 6 double crochets without splitting it like I just did. 1, 2, or not, splitting this, it's naughty, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we have a little loop there. We're now just going to do 2 rounds of 1 double crochet into those 6. Now you can see the little hole there, it's only this bit. If you've got a proper slip knot, you can pull it and it'll tighten up. If it won't tighten up at the end, you would have to sort of stitch it into place. So 1 double crochet into each of those 6, so it feels a lot smaller compared with what we've already been doing. So that's 2, and it will curl, 3, move that out of the way, 4, 5. You see how it's curling up, so it will annoy you a little bit. So if it's curling at this point, again, I've just tightened that, I'm going to push that over my little finger so it makes it easier to continue. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now that's all I did. Now I'm going to fasten it off there and show you sort of how I made the shape a little bit more. But if you wanted to make a longer carrot nose, just do an extra couple of rounds. I'm doing a slip stitch there because that's how I like to finish off with my double knit. I've left enough yarn there to sew it onto our little snow person, and ta-da. So all I did, I'm just taking the end of the crochet hook for that, just to sort of shape it a little bit. Make sure that middle bit's pulled nice and tight because we don't want it coming undone. So we have a little nose basically. Now to position my little nose, I will do that bit with you. It's something I find it makes it easier for me to do, so hopefully I'll make it easier for you. The middle bit here, not the end bit, the middle one, and I'm like going to just push it through all the way through, and then obviously we need to reshape it a bit because I squished it, but it gives me an idea and it sort of holds it in place while I stitch it on with the other end. So you would then sort of take your little stitches around to stitch it on. But if, like I say, if you're wanting a longer snowman nose, because it is a carrot, isn't it, after all, so it depends on sort of how far in the carrot is pushed, so to speak. But I just decided to do a little cutie nose, which does look a little bit like a beak, but I think it does work. So basically that is it. So we'll pull our snowman back in here. So the hat, you can change however you want, and I have mentioned obviously on it how many rounds we need on there. If another thing, in fact, something I should have thought to put on, in fact I think I've got some here. I'm grabbing some buttons while we're talking, because buttons would have finished it off, wouldn't it? Actually, well, I have some little black buttons here. I could have put some little black buttons on, which again looks cute. But again, remember who's going to be receiving this. Maybe a little felt stitched on might be better. But if you're looking at choking hazards, buttons are not, and safety eyes are not a good idea. But I might actually sew them on yet, because I don't know why I didn't even think about it, because it would have coal, wouldn't it? Coal in the eyes and coal here to make it look like buttons. So just plain little round buttons would be a good way of doing that. So that is it. That is the end of our little snowman, snow person, snow, whoever you wish to be, little snow person. It's super cute. Really pleased with it. Super squishy. And the chenille, I will get the pattern written up if you prefer a pattern. I need to get this little one finished, but you can see it's almost there. It's another 20 minutes maybe, and that one will be finished. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you're going to have a go. If you do, please tag me on Instagram or send me a picture. I just love to see what other people are doing, especially if you've got different colours here and things like that. If you do my patterns, somebody asked me the other day regarding selling. I don't mind, but obviously as long as you're not selling the pattern, I don't mind if you make them, especially if you're doing them for charity and things like that. But I do like, if possible, for people to say it is an Octopudding pattern, because my patterns are, I literally sit down with a ball of wool and the hook and I make it. So that is as much as it is of mine. I prefer to do it like that. So the pattern will be available. There's some offers. I can't try and think what it is. Is it buy 2 buy 3 get 1 free? Oh, I don't know. I've got some offers anyway on there at the moment. I'm trying to alter the website around a bit. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you can enjoy making him. Got some more Christmas stuff coming, and bye bye for now.